Assalamu alaikum, guys. Today, I'm going to be breaking down the main card of UFC 301 and letting you know what I think is going to happen. Now, I have a very particular skill set and experience for this analysis type stuff. I fight Muay Thai and kickboxing, and I've been doing it for a little while now. I have done jiu-jitsu when I was younger, but the older I got, the more I fell in love with these hands. I want to prove I got that dog in me. And, hugging, in my opinion, doesn't really do that. So that's why I went the route that I did. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. All right. Now, our first fight, we got Mr. Mel Gibson himself, Paul Craig, versus Yall Baralho. Apologize if I mispronounce anything. I speak two languages. Unfortunately, Portuguese is not one of them. So, I'm sorry. Don't left hook me, Pajero.
Shama.
Sorry. But anyways, I don't like hopping on the bandwagon, but I don't see any way for Paul Craig to win this fight. No way whatsoever. Especially after his abysmal performance against Brendan Allen. I mean, it's like he hasn't evolved. It's like his skills stayed in the early days of MMA. Very old school style jiu-jitsu, and that's the only thing he relies on. He doesn't have a good striking. He doesn't have good striking defense. He doesn't have that good wrestling offensively, and all he really does is just wait on his back and throw up a Hail Mary, kind of like what he did to Jamal Hill. But if that's your MO, you reach your ceiling and you can't really get past that. And I think after Saturday night, it might be time to call it quits. I usually look at the stats, but for this one, we don't need to look at the stats. Baralho's undefeated in the UFC. He's explosive. He's dynamic. He's got good jiu-jitsu. So even if it does get on the ground, I don't think he's going to be uncomfortable. But I don't see this getting out of the early rounds. And so that's why I pick Baralho to win by KO TKO in round 1. All right? Now, let's move on to the next fight. This one's a little more exciting. The man himself, a guy who's hard to hate, Michel Pereira. My God. He's flashy. He's got decent jiu-jitsu. He's got good striking. Very dynamic, especially now that he's calmed down. Because before he was doing all that crazy stuff, tiring himself out and just shooting himself in the foot. Now, he's a little bit more calculated. He's going to be going up against Ihor Potieria. Him. As I said, I know two languages. This one's not one of them. All right. Now let's dig a little bit deeper. All right. Both of these guys are around the same height. Pereira actually has a 2-inch reach disadvantage. Striking wise, they're pretty similar. Pereira does have the edge. Pereira's got a 54% striking accuracy. Ihor's got a 50%. Pereira's got a 58% striking defense. Ihor's got a 50%. All right. Now here's where it gets a little interesting. Pereira has a 55% takedown accuracy. Ihor has 0. Why does he have 0? He has 0 because this guy has never never successfully attempted a takedown in the UFC. Yeah. And to close it all out, Pereira has a 94% takedown defense. Ihor's got a 57. So I think this fight can be finished on the ground, on the feet, either way, and it's all up to Michel to pick where, because he runs it in both arenas. However, I have a feeling that if we're continuing to see this progression of Michel Pereira into a more serious fighter, if that's the case, and I think it is, I believe the game plan is to get it to the ground, and that's why my pick is a round one submission, probably a rear naked choke, something like that. But then again, I'd take what I say about the ground game, jiu-jitsu, all of that with a grain of salt. Because, I know a little something. I've been watching for a while, but I don't participate in it like I do with striking. All right. Anyways, let's get on to the next one. Now, as I said earlier, I hate jumping on the bandwagon. My mom, she told me I was special. My wife, she said I was special. And almost every teacher I've had since middle school said I'm special. So that all goes to just say that I don't like to hop on the bandwagon. It's in my family too. I tell my dad, yo, the sky is blue. Habibi, it is green. What are you talking about? Open your eyes. It's in my blood. However, my hatred for one individual supersedes that. Obviously, I'm talking about Anthony Lionheart Smith. Mr. Ogre himself. My boy clawed his way from under Mount Doom through Mordor to give us pretty shitty performances as of late. He's going to be going against Vitor Petrino. Now, Petrino is almost a decade younger than Smith. Smith has definitely seen his better days, if you want to call anyone better days. And if we look at the statistics, we see something rather interesting. Now, striking wise, they're pretty similar. Smith's got a 48% striking accuracy. Petrino's got a 45%. Smith has a 46% striking defense. Petrino has a 45%. Smith has a 26% takedown accuracy. Pretty dookie. Petrino has a 68%. Okay? Smith has a 48% takedown defense. Petrino has a 71%. Now, there's another thing to consider, and that's Petrino is built like a damn house. If you haven't seen a picture of this man, look at a picture of this man. I don't want to look at a picture of this man around my wife. Trust me, I don't. No, I'm a specimen myself, but nothing like that. Nothing like that. Homie's on the Alistair Overeem horse meat diet. Built like a damn mansion. Alright. That's going to play a factor. This man is really strong. He's really explosive. Which is why it's hard to choose how this fight's going to end. Is Petrino going to knock him out? Probably can. Is he going to submit him? Is he going to take him out ground and pound? I can see all those things happening. You know what I could also see happening is Smith just shelling up, standing there and eating it. As of late, that's been his MO. He just likes getting beat up. Terrible head movement, slow, Uh, a nerd. I think we should stop calling someone brave or a lionheart just for taking unnecessary punishment. And this man is so delusional, and he copes so hard that I think it's inhibited his ability to critically self-reflect and, go train and gain the skills that he needs to be a better fighter. Because in his mind, it's all other factors that come into play when he loses, except for his own inability. Now, this is the throw up. It could either be knockout in the first or the second round, or a unanimous decision. We really have to question Smith's chin after that brutal Roundtree knockout. So I'm gonna lean a little bit more towards a knockout. I'm gonna say knockout in the second round. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. Say that he could handle Petrino for a round. If that happens, let's see. All right, moving on to the next one. Now, this is a fight that's either gonna make me feel really good or really bad. I'm either gonna be a salty Oliveira fan, a salty toxic Oliveira fan after his loss to Sarukian, or I'm gonna be an Islam Makhachev fan and just always got a smile on my face. To be fair, I'm more of the latter than the former, but I'm not as crazy as their fan bases. But anywho, Jonathan Martinez, Jose Aldo, the battle of the kicks. Both of these guys got great low kicks. I'd argue to say Jose Aldo's got the best low kick game in the UFC. He certainly proved it with a long track record. Now, obviously age comes into consideration. He looked pretty good in his recent boxing match, and looking back at some tape, I had to look at the Munoz fight, because that's an older Aldo, and he's dealing with somebody who's got a pretty heavy leg kick game. Now, what did that fight tell me? It cemented the fact that Aldo has great striking defense. He's got really good low kick counters, and he knows some of the basics of striking, something that a lot of people forget. In fact, my coach told me in one of my fights, when somebody was chopping down my leg nonstop, he said, "Hey, if you can't check it, load into it, throw the hands. Throw the hands on him the second he touches you with that kick." Why? Because in almost every dynamic, when you throw in a kick, you're either dropping a hand completely, swatting your hand, or if you're Dutch style, your hand's moving a little bit from your guard. It's human nature. It's the way it works. So what's the perfect counter for a kick? It's usually a punch, a la Lyoto Machida, John Jones. So this gives me a lot of confidence in Jose Aldo's ability to deal with somebody like Martinez. Now let's talk about Martinez. Martinez, stylistically speaking, he stands in a stance with some weight on the front foot. Why would one do this? They would do this because if you got more weight on your front foot, you can throw your rear kicks way faster. And you can do it without a telegraph. Similarly, you'll be able to put hand combinations together going forward. Moving backward? No, not really. To the left, if you're conventional, yeah. Now, it's a good stance to have if you're a very offensive pressure fighter. However, if you're being put on the back foot, obviously not a good thing. If you're the one getting leg kicked to your front leg, it's not a good thing because you can't check if your weight's in the front foot. You can't lift that leg up. Now it's the battle of the kicks. Both of them got good kicks. But who also has good kick defense? I think the only person who does is Jose Aldo. And that's why I'm picking Jose Aldo to win KO TKO round 3. I just want to know, and I kind of envision this, that he's going to finish him either with a leg kick or with a body shot. Because Martinez he doesn't have good striking defense. And his hands are kind of all over the place, especially, he's wide open for body shots. Somebody who's got really good boxing like Aldo, he's going to capitalize on that. All right. Now let's move on to the main event. The Battle of the Little People. Now let me just say this before I start. We need to stop talking crap about these flyweights. And I say me too. Because, I'm like 6'1", I wear shoes, I'm 6'2". Depending on who's asking, I might even be 6'3". But I got the privilege of being in the Goldilocks height, And these little guys, they got it harder. They got life harder. It's harder. So we don't need to be poking fun on them. Let's leave them alone. All right? Alexandre Pantoja, Steve Erceg. Let me just note, Steve Erceg, I've seen 8 Steve Ercegs when I went in the office this week. My guy is NPC as fuck. Now, both of these guys are, decently big for the weight class. Pantoja's massive for the weight class. And I think this fight is going to be primarily on the feet. Now, why do I think this? Pantoja's game plan is usually to march people down, finish them on the hands, or knock them down, jump on their back. Now, what happens when somebody can't be walked down? When they're a technical striker, when they move on the outside? Well, then it's gonna be a war of attrition. You're gonna move around, pick the shots, and keep wearing down on the armor. Pantoja's style on the feet, he's more than willing to eat shots, to give good shots. If we learned anything from the Moreno fight, it was that. And in fact, Moreno's the one who had better head movement. Pantoja didn't care. He'd eat it to give it, eat it to give it. Now those are two individuals willing to go into the fight, willing to throw down. Steve Erceg doesn't seem to be that way on the feet. He seems to be way more technical. If you're looking at his knockout of Schnell, he set up that hook. He set it up. He's very technical. And, we haven't seen him tested in the grappling dimension, but he does have a 77% takedown defense. I think he'll be able to keep this fight on the feet. And I think he's going to be able to chink away at Pantoja's armor, stay at a distance, set up some shots. And I think by the 4th round, he's going to finish him. That's what I think. These are my picks. Agree with me, don't agree with me, let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, turn the bell on. Right, Samir? Turn the bell on? Yeah? Alright, y'all. I'm gonna go. Take it easy. Stay safe.